A lot of new beginner traders always ask me, how can you find stocks to scalp, swing trade, and even intraday trade? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can actually find these stocks for free by scanning them step by step and even add them to your trading watch list. And guys, we also have a new Discord platform just for BK stocks. So look in the description below, join. It is brand new. Be the first to join. I'm going to start providing some educational resource. I may even go live and trade with you guys on that platform. I'm excited about it. So be sure to click on it and join us. Hey, let's go ahead and dive right into it. I'm not going to waste no more time. So guys, if you don't know, our goal at BK Stocks Academy and even our parent company at BK Trading Academy, where we teach Forex, we want to try to teach you how to trade the best way possible. And trading the best way possible means to have a grip on risk management. And you will hear us talk about that the most. You know, we weren't afforded the opportunity to play this game, meaning the stock market or the Forex market, years ago. The stock market was for the wealthy people. And so people who were middle class and lower class did not have the opportunity to even invest, let alone trade. You had to have a minimum of $1 million in some of the markets to even trade. So that being said, guys, now that I have over a decade of trading experience under my belt, having experience in the financial market, having mentors who have traded this market for decades, knowing these things, I want to make sure that I share a lot of this with you guys. So that being said, guys, I'm going to give you step by step on how to find stocks that are growing, stocks that meet your criteria. You can set it the way you want to and build a watch list so that you can start watching these stocks from the beginning. Now, imagine if you invested in Google when it first was conceptualized, or imagine when you had invested in Tesla or Microsoft or Apple and these big names when they first went IPO. So guys, I want to help you set your watch list up. So even if you want to scalp, you can be profitable, or even invest, meaning hold on to these trades for long periods of time so that you can make the best that you can. Like I said, guys, we weren't afforded this opportunity before. And so our heart pours out to you, who are those who are looking to make supplemental income or just a full-time income or just to try to become wealthy. But you have to get a grip on risk management, guys. So that being said, BK Trading Academy, BK Stocks Academy is huge on risk management, and we do not trade unless we have everything under our belt that ties around risk management, because we know that we're the away team. The big institutions who are moving this market are the home team. So we have to know the plan of the home team in order to be successful. I'm going to give you a few steps to follow with me. And the first step here, one, is to find stocks. Which stocks should you trade? That being said, guys, let's look at a website that I'm familiar with and that I want you to become familiar with if you're not already, so that we can start the right way. Let's get it. All right, guys, so the stock screener that I like to use is Finviz. It's finviz.com, which is Finviz.com. It'll take you to a homepage like this here. I love it because the layout, everything is color coordinated. And so you'll see the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the Russell 2000. You'll see a list of ticker symbols and stocks here. So the very first thing that you will want to do is go to the screener tab right here. And then it will take you to this layout here where you can actually dissect what type of stocks that you want. All right. So the very first thing I would pay attention to here is the exchange button here. So here you will find these exchanges. And the idea is so that you can find a stock depending on the exchanges in. So I like any of these here. These are huge exchanges. So I would just keep it on any. And then the second one here is the market cap. Now, the market cap is typically the strength of a company. All right. So mega means that it trades over 2 billion or more in stocks each day. Large is 10 billion and so on and so forth. You can go through this here. So I would suggest as a new trader, either small to mega, and that way you know that these have some big values. So if you haven't looked at any of the videos that I've provided before, this is a fairly new YouTube video. It's about understanding the difference between Forex and stocks, and it will tell you the difference between buying stocks or selling stocks. And buying stocks is a lot less riskier than selling stocks. It goes a little bit deeper into it. So just go ahead and look at that video. So that being said, let's just go ahead for mid right here. All right. And you don't have to do the earnings date, but you can go ahead and look into these details. But for this video purpose, we're going to go ahead and scroll over to current volume. So volume here is pretty much how much stocks that they've done each day. And also, if you're confused or don't know this information, all you have to do is hover over it. And it says here, number of shares traded today. So that's all you need to do is hover over the word and it will give you a description of what it is. So the volume here, for the purpose of this, let's go ahead and do under 750K. All right. And then you can also check the country. I'm just going to do United States. Right. And another thing that I would look for is the relative volume. So the relative volume is designed so that you know how much volume is being pushed into that particular stock. So a high volume is good, meaning that there's some nice volume into the market. You're going to see some upside movement, but you don't want to go too high because you'll start to get some dips as well. So the higher it goes, the harder it will fall as well. So I like to stay anywhere between 1.5 to maybe 2. So let's go ahead and do 1.5. And you can see at the bottom here is starting to filter out all of these companies based off of what you've put here in the filter set. All right, so you want to go through this here. You can even do an IPO date. So when it started trading publicly, I like to leave any as well. Now, if you're interested in maybe new stocks or new IPOs or new public companies, and you think that, hey, since it's starting from the bottom, it can do nothing but grow, feel free to do that. Just go ahead and put today or yesterday or last week, do some research on that company as well, just to see if there's growth potential. Typically, any company in healthcare or technology is really good in those sectors, but we're not going to go too deep into that. I want you guys to play with this here. You can't break this at all. Just go ahead and play with this and look at the different descriptions here. All right. You can also do a sector. So if you're looking at the energy sector, the financial healthcare sector, like I mentioned before, go ahead and click that. We'll leave it at any, even the industry as well. So you can really break down these stocks. And another thing that you will want to do is the price area. So if you're looking to trade pretty cheaply and you're looking for stocks, maybe $10 a share or under, you can select it specifically. So, the higher it goes, then you want to have more in your account, depending on if you have a margin account or a cash account. And we go into that in depth in a previous video as well. So I encourage you to go back and look at some of our previous videos, but you want to do that. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to just select under $15. And now you can see it starts to break down the stocks here. So if I'm interested in these stocks, I can go ahead and now look at the chart itself. So now I'm on the overview tab. I like to go over and click chart, and it will show a chart of those three companies. And now we're going to go ahead and move into technical analysis. Now, I like to look at technical analysis on my own chart, and the chart that I like to use is TradingView. All right, so this is TradingView. If you're not familiar, I'll go ahead and put a link at the bottom. So what you'll do is go to one of these charts here, or you can go to all of them, and now you're going to start to break it down here. So I'm going to go here to EFR. So what I would do is go to my TradingView chart. I'm going to hit the plus symbol here and just type in EFR, and it's under the New York Stock Exchange. And just to make sure I have the right one, you can go ahead and just see where it's traded at $12.52. And now I'm going to go to my EFR chart right here, $12.52. So this is the same chart. And now I can start to break down technical analysis. Now, if you're unsure how to create a list like this, you can see that I have a list of different stocks here. All you need to do is come to this corner right here. And then what you'll do is create a new list. So hit this drop down, create a new list, and then you can name it literally anything, my stock chart or whatever you like. And once you do that, then you're going to hit this plus symbol, type in the ticker symbol right here. For example, Apple, AAPL. You will click Apple and it will save on your chart list right here. And here's my Apple chart right here. So for now, we're going to look at EFR, and I'm going to break it down here. So we always like to start on the higher time frame. If you always start in the higher time frame, the reason why is because it gives us a higher advantage as to what price is doing. It gives us the overall trend. So just to break it down just a bit here, what I like to do is figure out what's going on. So I see this uptrend here. I see an all-time low right here back in 2020. That was, let me guess, in March. Yep, March of 2020. So they took a huge dip during COVID and it started to climb. And then after that, around November 2021, it started to decline. So I'm just watching this. This is what I do when I'm looking at a company that I'm unfamiliar with or something that I may be interested in. So there was a nice drop here back in 2021. It carried on to now January 2023. And guess what? From this point on, it looks like it may start to rise, but it's rising a bit slowly. Now it's traded at $12.52. What I also like to do here is to see how far low did price reach during COVID-19. And this gives me an indication that if something major happens again like this in the world, how far could it drop? So the lowest point looks like it dropped around $7.20, give or take. It started to rise and now it's about $12.52. So that gives me an overall technical analysis as to what price is doing. Now that I understand all of this that happened, there was a huge rise to 15.54, a huge drop to about $10.80, and now it's currently traded at 12.52. What I like to do is start to spread my chart out. All right. And because price is starting to rise, my bias is buy at some point, but I don't want to just buy. I want to look at price action. I want to see what's going on with price action. Is it continuing to rise? I like to look at news and fundamentals as well. So I like to go to the lower chart, and we can go 4 hour, for example, right? This here at the bottom of TradingView, this stands for the dividends. It tells you in detail, if I click here, their dividends, how they're doing, their finances, and so on and so forth. This is something that I like to check specifically, which we'll go into another video. Now what I see is that price is starting to rise, but it's been consolidating for a while. So there's no straight uprising, or there's no straight bullish action for a while like it did back here, right? This was a steep incline. Now there's an incline, but it's not as steep and it's hanging around. So that's when I would start looking at their dividends. I would start looking at news about this company, what's going on, what people are saying, what the CFO or the CEO is saying. And so, like I said, that's another video. But then what I also like to do is go down to the lower time frame. I do see this rise here, which looks promising. So within the last maybe 2 days or so, it went from $2.07 to $2.52. So because I like to buy stocks instead of selling because it's less riskier, I want for price to pull back. So I love these types of pullbacks here. So price capped out here at resistance, pull back. You want to buy, right? So now how do you know when to buy? That's when technical analysis come in and price action. And that's when you start looking at the past, determining what happened in the past, which could possibly happen in the future. And so that's when you would buy. You don't want to buy when price is rising, which you can, and you can get lucky. But the best thing to do is wait for price to fall when price is on discount, when price is more than likely to head to the upside like this here. So this isn't a technical analysis video, but I gave you a snippet. So let's go ahead and look at the next chart here. The next company here is IXHL. So let's go ahead and save that to our watch list here. So IXHL. It's trading on the NASDAQ market here. I'm going to go ahead and add that. And now let's go ahead and see what's going on with this here. So I'm going to go to the daily time frame. I'm going to even this out here and just see what's going on. So immediately I see kind of a flat line, right? So on the daily chart, there's a flat line. And as I stretch out my chart, I can see that that flat line is actually a decline. And then I see price gapped up, headed to the upside very, very abruptly. So from $2 all the way to $12.52 in just about a day or two. So what happened at that day for price to do something like that? So that's where your research come in, where I love TradingView, where you can actually look at their dividends. You can go to their website, figure out what's going on. But this may be a company of interest, because if price is trading this low, and we're talking about the low as far as 80 cents a share, price can only go up or bankrupt. So if I were to buy now and then price goes to zero, and let's say they bankrupt or they're no longer trading on the stock exchange, then I lose minimal. But let's say I sold and price went up. If I do that, the reason why that's risky is because the sky is a limit. They can continue to go up past $12, past 30, past 100, and you can continue to go and decline in your broker account. So that's why it's a lot riskier when you sell. But there are also strategies in place to sell properly. But that being said, this may be a company of interest. Now that price has shot to the upside, I want to see if it's going to continue to go up. If it doesn't and it drops, then I would be interested in possibly buying where price has set as support in the past. All right, let's look at this last stock here. It's PTVE. Let's go ahead and type that in. It's also traded on the NASDAQ exchange. And we're taking a look at it here, starting on the higher time frame to get a good idea of their longevity. When did they start trading publicly? And you can find that out by the first marker here. So this candle here was back in September of 2020. So during during COVID, and then price started to rise, right? So anytime after COVID, a lot of stocks had risen from its initial drop. Now, because this stock traded after COVID-19 in September, it could do nothing but rise because a lot of people were buying things and investing in companies. And we can see the steep incline, price started to fall, and it started to gradually decrease at that point, getting the lows as of $8.31 a share, even dropped below that to $6.85 a share, and now starting to rise currently at $12.10. So you want to be able to identify support and resistance. You want to identify supply and demand. Just a brief supply and demand education here is looking at these peaks right here. And I can see that this peak here has reached a supply zone right here. So simply circling this here back in the past in December 2022, also before that in August 2022, where price may reject and head to the downside like it did before. But you don't want to do that just because it happened in the past. You want to see if there's going to be some sort of rejection. And what I see already, because this is the weekend, this is Sunday, and the stock market isn't open right now, I do see a bit of a rejection here on the daily time frame where I see this wick. If I go to a lower time frame on the 4-hour, I also see the same thing where price could fall. This may be a good time to sell, and although selling is a bit riskier, understanding price action and technical analysis will help you reduce those fears that you may have. Me personally, I would like for price to drop without entering because this is a new company. And if it does and gets around this support zone, I'll be interested in buying. So guys, that being said, I hope I was able to help you find the right stocks to trade, just give you some resources and education and some information to help you and benefit you with starting off to trade stocks. So that being said, guys, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to click the description below. We have a new public Discord group that you can join where I'm going to start dropping some trade ideas, providing you with some nice education, and maybe even go live with you and trade with you in that Discord channel, guys. So I can't wait. This is brand new. Be one of the first few to join, and I will see you in the inside. Take care.